What's up, you guys? It's your girl CHIAMAKA, and I guess I'm back. I felt, I've been feeling so heavy and ready to come back to recording, filming, and just making content specifically related to like girl talk, real talk, just sharing my truth, my lessons, and really like being unapologetic about it, like really just going all in because I feel like I've allowed fear, I've allowed hopelessness, I've allowed depression, anxiety, comparison, all those things, discouragement, disappointment, just all of those things hold me back. And I feel like I've made so many videos, I've had so many conversations about feeling like I have, sorry y'all, I see the FedEx truck and I have some packages I need to have be picked up. And I think he's here for me. Yes, he is. Look at him. Okay. I'm happy. Yeah, I feel like I've spent a lot of time just, one, I had to take some time to surrender. I had to take some time to really just take a step back. I had to take some time to really just be with myself and be with God. I had to take time to process a lot of different things. I had to take time to really just heal and reflect and just process where I was at. You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point where I was like, if it, I'm finna just travel, I'm finna be a baddie, I'm finna be cute, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really posting words, I wasn't really sharing my truth. I might have done it here and there, but it wasn't something I was doing on a regular basis. I wasn't consistent with it. It was just me just being cute on the gram or on TikTok. I traveled a lot, I allowed myself to really just live. I feel like I spent so many years, like literally the last, what year are we in, 2026? The last, I would say 10, 11, 12 years just trying to make something happen for my life or for my dreams. And I think that because we have a conditioned view of what success should look like when it comes to chasing after our dreams, if it doesn't come with fame and money and notoriety and success and all of these things, then we feel like we weren't successful, or we feel like, we haven't done anything, when it's like, no, I actually been doing a lot. In fact, if you go back to my catalog, I've been doing this thing since 2014. Okay, probably even sooner than that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to work through that because I started to believe like I didn't do enough. I started to believe that, I wasted all this time. And I would say in some regard, in some respect, there were moments where I did waste time. There are some moments where I did not take advantage of the opportunity. I didn't, utilize my resources the way I should have. I didn't take the opportunities that were being presented to me in a way that I should have and become something from that space. Something could have happened, but who knows, right? But because I was so stuck in my head, or I felt like it wasn't what I wanted or what I saw, and just really not being grateful or not seeing the beauty of what is being presented. Like, all you have is all you need, right? If I would have been a little bit more intentional with what has been presented to me and used those opportunities, we could have been somewhere, or we could still be here. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I had to come to a place where, and I'm still coming to this place. This is not something that, I'm like fully recovered, healed, and learned from. This is something that I'm still actively in processing, right? I had to really just sit with myself and be like, Chiamaka, you've done a lot. Yes, there are moments where we could have done things differently, but you did what you knew with the information and the knowledge that you had at that time. If you knew to do this a little bit more, do this a little bit different, you would have done that. But you didn't have that wisdom, you didn't have that knowledge, you didn't have that, understanding at that time. So you can't shame yourself or beat yourself up for something you didn't know. So I had to, and I'm still having to actively remind myself of the balance, the truth of it all. Because the lies, baby, them lies will come full force and try to rip apart the truth and rip apart what is the real. And so the real is I went to school. I went to school twice. I got my master's, my bachelor's. I worked as a therapist to young teenage girls. And on top of that, I was able to put out books and put out songs and music videos and do a bunch of dope artsy stuff and host events and bring women together and pour life into not only the women, the teenagers, the men, the boys, everybody. You know what I'm saying? With my words, with my art, with my gifts, with my talent. And it's like, it's so funny how the enemy, the devil, can really just twist your brain and make you feel like you ain't really did nothing. You ain't even done enough. And you know, the thing is, to a degree, you're right. I ain't really scratched the surface yet, baby, because one thing about one thing about us being children of God is that God plants so much in us every day. There's so many things that we're able to accomplish and do. One thing about us being God's children is that He gonna always give us new mercy every single day, new grace every single day, new ideas, new dreams, new passion, new energy, as long as you believe. As long as you trust and believe and know that there is more in store than what has happened. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I did the things back in the day. I hosted the events. I wrote the book. I did the music. I treated the girls. I brought women together. I did all of these dope things. Sorry, my camera overheated again. But what I was saying, just because I did all those things, it doesn't mean that there isn't room for new beginnings. Okay? So I'm in a season where I feel like it is a season for new beginnings. A new year. It's, first of all, Happy New Year, okay? But I truly believe that God has been calling me to forget the past, you know, in the sense of like not reminiscing in it in a way where it's like, oh, I wish, regrets, but you know, okay, I did all those things, but forget it because God about to do something even more better, bigger, greater than what you thought you did the last 10 years. And so that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm still actively working through all of these emotions, all of these thoughts, all of these things. I literally was in a season where I just stopped creating because I was tired. I was burnt out. I was depressed. I was stressed. I felt like I did everything that I was supposed to do and I still felt like I was stuck. I felt like I didn't do enough. I felt like I did everything. And it was just like this war. It was just this war in my mind. And I was like, this is not healthy. And there's so much that I went through even in that 1 year and that process in the year that I was just kind of going through it. And that's going to take several videos to talk about. So y'all buckle up because there's so much that I have to unpack, so much I have to release, so much I have to share that I know will be helpful, not only for me, but for the people that watch and listen. And just reminding myself that this is just the beginning and there's so much that God wants to do with me and wants to do with the people that continue to keep up with me or listen to me or read my words. And so to not despise my humble beginnings, but to count it all joy because God is about to do something new. So I'm excited to embark on this journey. 30 is not late. Okay, if anything, I'm right on time and I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And I know as long as I continue to believe and trust and walk in the path that God has called me to walk, then everything's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And I know that I'll have my peace. So my camera is overheating again. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But I pray you just continue to keep up with my journey. And I pray that I continue to inspire and do all the things that I know I'm called to do. So Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next Girl Talk Real Talk. Heard.